Hello?
Hi, this is Rolf here.
Hi, how's it going?
Very good. And you?
I'm doing great.
Fantastic. That's good to hear.
Oh, very much so. Well, thank you for taking the time to do this interview. It's a tremendous honor to be able to talk to you about Crematory's brand new album, which I just gotta say is fantastic from start to finish. How did it feel being a part of this album?
Wow, I mean, I came to the band last year, so it was all very new for me. And the band was very nice to me, and people are great there, and we did record the stuff, and it was really, really great fun working with the guys, and I enjoy working with the guys. So I'm looking forward to a lot of shows this year, and let's see.
So very cool. So,
Yeah.
of course, joining the band last year, how does it feel playing the older material as it is to playing the stuff that now you're a part of on the brand new album?
That's a good question. I mean, after you rehearse the stuff more and more and you're diving into, it's not a big difference in the end, because you just play the old songs, learn the stuff, and rehearse it with the guys. And also, you know, we have two writers that have ideas for the new material. Also, they did compose stuff, ideas for the last albums. So it's not always 100% my idea or the other guitar player's idea or the singer's idea. It's a bunch of guys that putting ideas together and then it creates a song. So it works great. It's a good combination of all. So we're really happy with it. Yeah.
Oh, very cool. So which riffs or songs did you contribute to the album?
Oh man, that's hard question, because you know that was a line there, that was a line there, the solo here, everything's solo. I recorded completely. That's one of the main solos. The other stuff I have delays. I'm sorry, I hear myself. I don't know why that happened. So it's a bunch of stuff here and there, and something was written before when Matze was still in the band. They started recording the album when Matze was still in the band, and then he went out of the band, and then we came in and they recorded more and more with the producer, and then we played the guitars over, and it was a longer process than normally, but finally it went to a good end.
Well, I'm glad to hear that too. You know, when you first join a band, when you're going to be getting into a new album, you're always hoping for the best, and I can at least say from the listener point of view, it does sound like a fantastic album from start to finish.
Yeah, that's good to hear. Man, we decided to play lots of songs from the new album live, because we feel we got a lot of people, we got 3 people new now, so we thought, let's try and rehearse as many songs possible from the new album, so everybody can more be involved with the songs and stuff, and it really feels good. So we have a release gig on Saturday, and we play half of the album, and we'll see how they work.
Oh yeah, I mean, I haven't gotten a chance to see you guys live here with the new setup being here in America, but I can imagine just listening from the album that so many of the songs would work out fantastically in a live setting.
Yeah, we were also very surprised. You know, sometimes you don't know that. You just have a song on the record, you like it, you put it in the rehearsal room, and you say, nah, it doesn't work. But every of the 6 songs we were trying was really working, and so we rehearsed them and we all play them. Maybe it might be that some song is not working, so we get rid of one or something. But we're very, very optimistic now that all of the 6 songs are really good for live, and so it will be interesting for us and a surprise. Yeah.
Oh, very cool. So when you do something like a release show and you're not doing the whole album, how do you decide what other songs from the previous albums are going to be a part of the set?
You know, there is some stuff that had to be done. There are some songs where the older band members or the original band members said, we have to play this and this. So there was a couple of songs that were already booked for the show, so we have to play them, like Tears of Time or something. And then we tried a couple of songs. We did a medley, and we were trying some stuff. Some songs worked because we have now 2 guitar players and we're sounding a bit more heavier than before. Some stuff worked and some didn't, so it was just what felt good in the rehearsing room, and that is the leftover, and that is what play.
Oh, very cool.
You see, we got enough songs. We did enough songs in the rehearsal room, so we can kick 2 or 3 more songs, and we still got enough. So we're good prepared, and we'll be good.
Oh, good. I was just gonna ask about if there was any other songs from the album that could work out as well in a live setting.
Yeah, we thought about the ballad "Save Me." If we can play it maybe with acoustic guitars or just an orchestral version. But now we just concentrated on, I think we have 19 songs altogether for a live set. And we said, okay, that's enough. Just concentrate on these 19 songs. And we see if when the gigs comes and we play, we see if there's something to work on, older songs or maybe from the record, different stuff. Time will tell, I think.
Now that you've gotten to be in the writing process for the band, are the old songs as much fun to play as writing your own material for the band?
Yeah, I mean, sure, if you're involved in newer stuff, it's always kind of like your baby and you're a bit more involved in the stuff. But the old stuff is good, so it's a good combination, and if the song works live, it's fun to play. So I'm very easy with that. I mean, if the song is good to play and you're feeling good on stage and you have fun playing the songs and it's not like, oh shit, what a song, I don't like it or something, then it's horrible. But it's not the case. We have really, everybody was involved in choosing the songs, so we have a good bunch of songs together we all like. There's nothing in the set list where no one says there's a song that bothers me or something. So we're all happy with the live set, and all the things we didn't like is thrown out. So we got the best of what we like, and I think that was a good decision. And everybody was asked, so I'm really happy to have people around me that that say, okay, you have to play this. I know it's shit, but you have to play. So it was like a democracy in the band about the songs, and it was really fair play, and that makes it easy.
Oh, very much so, and I'm glad to hear that with the band too. Having such a legendary catalog, it's great that all the members of the band are willing to treat newer members of the band just as equal members and not having to be told what to play. Like, you actually have a say in what you get to do. That's really refreshing to hear.
Yeah, I mean, we have like one boss, he's the main man, he's the original founding member of the band, and he has some ideas what you have to do or what might be good for the band. But we always discuss it, and it's very open, and before the rehearsal, we have a coffee, we're drinking, and we're discussing, and we're making big jokes, and we're having fun. It's not like, a dictatorship or something, and he said like this. It's really nice. It's a good good feeling in the band.
Oh, very much so.
Yeah.
So with that said, what are your favorite songs from the previous catalog that you enjoy to play live?
Oh, that's a good question. Do I have so from the old stuff? From the old stuff, I like Pray very much.
Oh, very nice.
I like Shadowmaker, and I like Tic Tac and Greed.
Oh.
These are I have to make a list of my hit parade or my charts from this. This would be my top 4.
Oh, very cool. Very cool collection that you have there of favorite songs. And I imagine those songs are fun to play on guitar as well as enjoying hearing them in a live setting as well.
Yeah, it's really, now as we got 2 players, it's really a lot of pressure coming from the band, and it's really fun to play. These songs, the old songs, got a kind of a new dimension, a lot of pressure, and it's really kicking ass, the set, so really fun.
So after the release show that's going to be coming up this weekend, what are the future plans for the band?
So I think we got I think nearly 20 gigs for this year's booked, and I don't know if you know, we're not playing any tours, so we're just playing weekend gigs because everybody's in a job, and so we're doing only Thursday to Saturday.
Sure.
Also, a lot of the bigger bands these days, they don't get the venues filled up on Mondays and Tuesdays. So we decided, or the band decided, to not make longer tours. So we just play weekends, we shows. We have a couple of gigs together, festivals, little club shows. So we're playing and to get the band playing live together is something different than in the rehearsal. So we have to get our asses together and get tight together and more tight, and this will be the next thing, but maybe 7-8 shows, and then I think then it starts to work. Then the first show with the new band, 3 new members, will always be finding this and
Oh, very much so. And it does make sense that you're doing it that route, because much like you said, Sunday through Wednesday is really hard to be able to get the sold-out show that you would deserve. So being able to do the weekend shows when more people are inclined to go see music is actually a smart way to go about it.
I think so too, yes, man. It's, I think really bigger bands who are in the top chart positions playing on a Monday evening with 70 people or something, and it doesn't make any sense. I mean, if you're really Rammstein or whatever, the bigger band, bands, Alter Bridge or whatever, they can play on a Monday. But if you're in the second or third row or something and then playing on a Monday with like 50 or 70 people, it's useless.
Yeah, and again, it's a great way to do it, and of course with the legendary European festivals as well, being able to make those shows very special along with the weekend shows. That way you always have something to look forward to, and those shows mean so much more to you because the people are going to be going out for the weekend to see you.
Yeah, exactly. We have a couple of festivals also. I think we have 4 or 5 or 6 bigger festivals. I'm looking really forward to that. So it's a good combination of both.
Oh, very much so.
Yeah.
So outside of Crematory, have you had any chance to listen to any newer music?
I have that question a lot, and I ask, as I'm a producer also, I have my own studio. I've been asked by a lot of musicians that come to the studio, by other people, or we have discussions in the family or whatever with friends about new music. And to be honest, I don't know how you feel about it, but there was a good answer to that. Today is the best music ever made, but also the worst. And I think that describes it really good. There's some really, I love Adele. I love it. It's totally different stuff, but she got a phenomenal voice. And their stuff, and I discovered bands like Shinedown 2 years ago, really love, or Five Finger Death Punch. But it's, there's a lot has been said and done in music, so I'm really curious how the future will look on music, what sounds we have, what combinations of styles we might get. Because there's the future. Yeah,
that totally makes sense. And going back to the first part of what you said about how we're making the best and the worst music right now, I definitely understand that because there's such a saturation of music that's going on right now where
exactly.
Some bands, specifically in metal, they feel they got to be the heaviest, most brutal stuff, and they're not really coming up with anything creative and stuff that you want to go back and listen to. While in other forms of music, much like you said with Adele and Shinedown, becoming very popular globally and creating a style of music that wasn't necessarily there before and reaching it to a broader audience, and hopefully with the future, being able to combine the different things that they have done and make something very refreshing and new with it that you want to go back and listen to.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You know what is the difference between the 70s or 60s, if you want to say? Every album or every band sounded different. And in these days, when the bands come into my studio, they bring me like 2 or 3 CDs, and they say, that's how we want to sound like. And they started directly from the wrong direction, in my opinion, because sure, you can find a sound or something, but you have to develop your own sound. And if you come directly if I go and say, this is Paul Stanley, I want to look like Paul Stanley, it's Kiss, it's already done. So why don't you find your own sound? And so that was better. If you ask me what was better in the past, that was better, because nobody cared about other bands' sound. They were trying to find their own sound.
Yeah, I mean, that's what always gravitates me towards the 70s hard rock, progressive music, everything that came out of the 70s, because it was such a time for experimentation, specifically in rock music and of course in other genres as well, about just not caring about what is popular and just wanting to make the music that feels best to whoever is creating it. And it would be really nice if that came back around again.
Yeah. In the middle of the 80s, it started all to be, all started to shape the same sounds and the synthes and the reverbs and stuff. And all the experiments from the 60s and 70s were gone. Not that the music was bad, but, production and sound of a band is part of a song too. So all the combination is a bit more in, like you say, in certain shapes. And in the 70s, people didn't care about that.
Yeah.
And what you said, they just made the songs they liked, and they used the tools that were important to get that song sound the best. No matter what tool it might be, they just didn't care. If this tool worked, they took it.
Yeah, and again, I wish that would start happening again. I know, getting into metal, I know it's been happening in North America where bands who have different metal genres are starting to tour together here that don't necessarily sound the same. And I think that's already a great way to go about it, because when you go on tour with bands that don't sound like your band, that might start to rub off on you and open up your ideas creatively to create some music that you may not have before.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many subgenres today where like you said, it's really a saturation of stuff. So either we got, like, I don't know, a combination of styles that hasn't been combined together, or, I don't know, some new invention that does something like electronic, or I don't know. I can't imagine what will be. Also, if all these big... We have this discussion very much. Who will be the headliner in 10 years at the big festivals?
Yeah.
So when all the big superstars like Kiss, AC/DC, Judas Priest, Iron Maiden are gone, I want to see the really big festivals and who's playing at 8 o'clock in the night. I'm really curious.
Yeah.
Have you answered? Do you have answers?
Well, I'm trying to think about that as you're asking it. At least from the American point of view, the ones that of the newer bands that I would think of that would be doing that would be of the Avenged Sevenfold or Shinedown or Five Finger Death Punch variety, but that could totally change in a decade's time.
Yeah, but I think the industry missed to build up really creative stars and people like they did in the 70s and 80s, because the budget is not there anymore. So everybody's on their own, and some people do it, and they have talent, and they can do it. But to be a star and to do it for a rock star or a good musician, and to do that for quite like 10 years or 15 years is something different. You can have a one-hit wonder a year and then go, but it's learning so much around the music business and attitude and stuff, and you have to learn that, and you can't learn it in the underground. You have to go up and be on the position where you can learn it, and that's tough, and it's tough in these days.
Oh, very much so, especially when the music business is not making as much money as it should be. A lot of the idea is just about making, like pop music, for example, just about making the catchiest chorus that you can. Make them clap your hands at the rate of your heartbeat, and it doesn't even matter necessarily what the chorus or the vocals is, as long as it's catchy enough. And it can go away in 3 or 4 months, and people will have already forgotten that the biggest star in pop music is already gone because someone else has come out with another catchy song that's kind of similar, but they don't remember where it came from.
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely. Yeah.
So, with all of this said, how does that come around with Crematory about being able to keep things staying fresh and never feel like you're rehashing anything and staying inspired? As
I said, the band has, I think the last 2 albums, the same people. They have two musicians that provides us with ideas, and then we can pick the best ideas and do combinations of stuff and have our own ideas. And so it's not like repeating ourselves for all of the time. So it's just fresh ideas from outside, and I think that helps us to stay a bit more fresh and up to date and with sounds and stuff. I think that's helping. Yeah, I mean that is a great way to go about it, and it's good that a couple people in the band are able to be open to the idea of sharing ideas, because again, with a dictatorship, sometimes that does work in bands, but I imagine with a band like Crematory that again, just being able to have a say to be able to say what you're going to be playing and make sure that you're enjoying what you're playing as well. Yeah, I mean, we're not like 16-year-old people and we do everything just to get rock stars. We just have, and when you get a little bit older and experienced, it's also important that it works on a personal basis, like from man to man, and you have to have fun on the tour. You're sitting together in a van, for 5 hours to get to the venue. Then you're sitting again 3 hours in the backstage, going on stage, go outside, share the same shower, and then go back on the van for 5 hours with the same person. It's not about the music, it's about all sharing good moments and have a good laugh, and that's very important to us. And so the band really took a focus on that when they decided which will be the new members. So it had to work on a personal basis too. Oh, very much so. I mean, a lot of people who are not musicians don't necessarily think about that, but
everything that goes on outside the studio and outside the stage is just as important as what goes on in the studio and on the stage.
Absolutely, absolutely. You're absolutely right. I couldn't have said it better. It's everything that it's apart from the music side is very, very important. I mean, there's several possibilities how you can do a band. There is like maybe Bon Jovi, where John Bon Jovi is the boss and everybody gets his money and they go on stage and play. Or there is dictatorship bands, and it works. It might work. If everybody understands his role and everybody accepts that role, it's working. But here it's just we have a good team together, and that's the way they do it, and I think the way it works also.
And it's great to see it too, because again, with a legendary band like Crematory, putting out some of the strongest material the band has ever done in 2016 with Monument, it's fantastic to hear that everything is as strong as I was hoping the band would be at this time.
Yeah, we're really happy, and you know, there was a point where I talked when Marcus told us when Matza left the band that they were thinking, you know, it was 24 years old, the band, and they were thinking, well, what should we do? Should we find new players? Should we go on? Shit, you know, you're frustrated in the first moment, but they decided to go on, and then they got new players, and it's fresh again. It's really fresh, you know. When I go to the rehearsal room and Marcus when we play, everybody has a smile in their face, and that makes it really fun to play, because it's not like we're covering the old songs. We have fun playing the songs together. That's it.
Well, it's funny you mention that, because my first experience with Crematory was actually on a Metallica tribute album where the band covered One. Do you ever see the band ever doing another cover again?
We were talking about playing that song live, but it disappeared from the list. Let's say it that way. I don't know why, but then we had to learn the new songs. So I don't know. To be honest, I have no idea. Now we have the new Baby Born last week, and it's now we go the route to play the songs, see what the people say, see what we say about the songs, if we enjoy playing the songs, or if we have to change the lineup, the setup a bit, the set list. So I think the next couple of months it for us will be important to see which songs work live, and to put the last details in the set list for the live situation, and then in the end of the year maybe, or beginning of next year, we're thinking about doing new stuff. I think that the album I think they do each 2 years they do a new album, so there will be no album next year or something, though. It's time to see. Maybe yes, maybe no. I have no idea. We didn't talk about that.
Yeah, I was going to say that there's plenty of music in the catalog of Crematory that you wouldn't necessarily need to do covers unless you guys feel like there's a song that means something enough to you.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, everybody did a good job, so the lyrics, Felix does the lyrics, and there's really good stuff in it, and there was no need for a cover, and as long as people like it and you do your own stuff, absolutely, you're right. And you know what? If you do a cover, my personal opinion is always, if you do a cover, you have to do it your own way. You have to interpret it, not just cover it and play the same notes. You have to put your stamp on it, and that's work, you know.
Yeah, I mean, that definitely makes sense. I mean, with covers, I mean, you can always go to your local pub and be able to see a cover band playing on the weekend, but if a band that's known for writing their own music is going out and doing a cover of a song, it's always much more interesting to hear them do their own take on that song, because there's so much experimentation that can be done, and it shows how the inspiration for the band really came when they do their own version of it.
Yeah, absolutely, right, yeah.
Well, thank you for taking the time to do this interview. It is a tremendous honor to be able to talk to a member of a band that I've been a fan for well over a decade for, and it's fantastic to be able to help promote the new album Monument, which just came out. It's a fantastic album from start to finish, and I hope everyone goes out and buys it and enjoys what they hear as well. Before we are done, is there anything else that you'd like to mention that I haven't brought up yet?
No, we covered a lot of stuff. The only thing that I want to say is I'm really glad you like it, and it was also my pleasure to talk to you. And it's always a musician is happy when you can make other people happy. It's not like I say that just because it had to be. I have to say that, because I mean it that way. It's if you don't get the feedback from people and they tell you this is a great song, or I love that, or I've been a fan for this and this time, that's what makes musicians go on. It's their motor, it's their engine. Half part is express yourself, and the other part is get feedback from other people. That's why we do it. And thank you for the words. I'm really glad you like the stuff. And hopefully, the only thing I want to touch is people don't stream that much music and they buy the album.
Yeah, I am a way bigger fan of being able to buy the album, whether it's in CD or MP3 format, depending on the distribution of it. And I like being able to have control over my music, being able to have the CD and play it in my car or in my stereo, or if I'm working on my radio show, being able to listen to the MP3s and just be able to just sit back and relax with it. With things like Spotify and YouTube and all of those streaming services, while I understand their purpose, for me, I just get so much more joy being able to give my money to the band and being able to help promote them with my radio show and my interviews, and being able to just spread the word of the band so they can keep going as well.
And you think, I think it's your own, that's my own record. I bought it, it's mine. I can listen to whenever I want. I did something great. I powered musicians, and I enjoy listening to it, and that's great, as you said.
Oh yes, very much so. And again, thank you for taking the time to do this. I'm not sure if America's ever in the cards for being able to do a one-off show here, but if you ever do, or if I ever make it out to Europe, I would love to be able to see you guys live.
I will contact you and send you the details if we ever go there. I think they haven't been to America. Do you know that? I don't think they have.
I don't think so yet.
Okay, so I will tell that. I will tell it to the people. So maybe that would be interesting. I haven't played in America, so that would be nice. Yeah.
Oh yes, I can imagine even just for being a one-off show or a weekend or whatever would work for you guys. I mean, it'd be fantastic hearing the music of Crematory in America.
Fantastic. Sounds good to me, man.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, fantastic.